Good evening and welcome back to Mo's channel, motherfuckers. We are in the mid of Cove D meltdown. Melt down. Melt down. Now, I've made videos in the past about Cove D. I've made videos about racism. I've made videos about homosexuality. But something struck me recently. DeshawnJackson, and I hope I'm saying that black man's name correctly. DeshawnJackson, wide receiver, Philadelphia Eagles, posted something that Adolf Hitler supposedly said. Now, I don't know DeshawnJackson. I never met the man. So I don't know what's in his mind. And I'm not going to try and speculate what's in his mind. But I am suspecting that the objective of his post concerning a quote attributed to Adolf Hitler was to underscore the fact in his mind that the Jewish people in this nation, America, have worked against the interests of black people. So now YouTube and YouTube censors and all people who are watching this, I am not saying that's the case. Neither am I saying that's not the case. I'm just reporting on an incident that occurred in the past. So it is now history. But in addition to that, this man committed the unforgivable sin that a black man or black woman or black child or even a goddamn fucking black baby can commit in this country. He embraced the devil, Louis Farrakhan, a bigot, a hateful man, an evil man. What were you thinking, Deshawn? What were you thinking? As a black man in America, you are supposed to do what you are told to do by your benefactors, who are white people. Because had it not been for the white people, Mr. DeshawnJackson, you still would have been in Africa riding butt naked on the back of a fucking zebra with a fucking bone through your nose, yelling "Oga booga 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 booga," because those African savages, yeah, that's what they were, savages, barbarians, backward primitive people, didn't know how to speak. So when they communicated, they just said "Ooga booga booga booga, ooh ba ba ba, booga booga booga." He embraced Farrakhan. Remember a man called Obama, Barack Obama, had a pastor named Jeremiah Wright, who spoke in the same manner and had the same thinking and perspective as Louis Farrakhan. And do you remember what they told Obama? You gotta cut that man off. You gotta dissociate yourself with that man. And Barack Obama, being the obedient, good Negro that he was, you know, a good Negro that listens to white people. When white people tell you something, you don't question. You say, yes, sir. Yes, massa. Massa, massa. Yes, I do it, massa. I do it now, massa. I want please, massa. Because massa gave me everything. Massa took me out the jungle. Massa, yes, they say Massa made me slave. But if I was in jungle, I'd be running from lion. Now, I live on Massa plantation. And Massa feed me. Massa feed me chitlings. Massa feed me pig feet. Massa feed me pig snout. Good food for me. Because in Africa, I was eating that. I had nothing. I was nobody. Look at Colin. I won't even say that nigga's last name because I do not want to insult him. Colin. Everyone knows Colin. Knee down. Everyone knows Colin. Look at Colin. They told Colin, you shouldn't kneel. The white people told him you shouldn't kneel. Colin said, I'm a black man. I have my own mind. I think for myself. I act in my own interests. When is the last time Colin played football, Deshawn? Do you understand? I, as a black man, do not want to see another successful black man suffer. You've done me no wrong, Deshawn. You've worked hard all your life to get to where you are. Don't throw it away. Off your conscience. Don't throw it away by thinking for yourself. Listen to Massa. To what Massa say you do. When Massa say you jump, you say, how high, Massa? I jump high enough, Massa. Massa want me jump high? I jump higher, Massa. I gotta make Massa happy. Because Massa took me from jungle. Brought me to America. Now I can catch a bus. I can drive car. I can play football, make money. Massa good to you, Deshawn. So you be good to Massa. Right, Deshawn? I hope you say fuck you, nigga. I hope you say fuck you, nigga. Because you are a successful black man. And nobody should ever tell you who you can associate with and how you could live your life. So, because of DeshawnJackson, and I hope I have that nigga's name right. If I don't, forgive me. But because of him, I decided I'm going to make a video about the truth. See, in this world that we live in, we are consumed with propaganda. What is propaganda? You know, when you talk about propaganda, you think about East Germany, you think about the USSR, you think about a nation that's run by dictators, China, whatever, North Korea, and you contemplate state-sponsored, produced, disseminated propaganda. But have you ever stopped and asked yourself, What is the purpose of the media? Off the back, I'll put it out there. I'm a writer. I write novels, not yet published. Give me 2 months, my first novel's coming out. Give me 1 month, my first children's book is coming out. Give me 4 months, 5 months, my first nonfiction book will be published. I aspire to be a filmmaker. So I write scripts, I direct, and I'm going to learn cinematography. I'm a musician. I play 7 instruments. I compose, I write lyrics, and I produce tracks from the compositions that I create. So you could say, well, nigga, you part of the media. But think about something. Have you ever read a novel that inspired you, that just captivated you? And after you read that novel, your perspective changed. Or listen to a song and it touched you. And you sat back and said, wow. It moved you. It made you think, it advanced you. Or watched a movie. Spike Lee's movies come to mind. See, art can inspire, can motivate, can encourage. But it can also destroy. If I put out an album, rap album, country, whatever, I'm talking about these bitches and I fuck this bitch and fuck that bitch and this bitch is a hoe and all bitches are shit and blah. Little 10-year-old girl listens to that shit. She's like, damn, I'm a piece of shit. That's destruction. But if I put out an album, a song, and I talk about a young girl, 15 years old, had a boyfriend, told her he loved her, fucked her, got her pregnant, bailed. She's in a state of despair. But she picks herself up with determination. And she moves herself forward. And she succeeds. She overcomes the hurdle. Now think about a 16-year-old girl, pregnant, dude bounced, and she listens to that song. She's in a state of depression. What am I gonna do? But she listens to that song. And that song gives her courage and motivation. That's inspiration. But media is a big, big money game. See, when you look at television, the objective of television is not for you to see the shows, but for you to see the commercials. Because that's where TV stations get their money. So the shows are tailored for different target demographics. That's why if you watch TV during the daytime, you'll see a lot of commercials from accident lawyers. If you've been in an accident, call blah, blah, blah. For old people, walk-in tubs, whatever fucking shit old people like to do. Because for the most part, those are the people watching TV in those time slots. You get into the evening hours, you start seeing a lot of family-oriented advertising depending on the show. If the show is targeted at a male audience, you'll see a lot of beer, shaving shit. If it's targeted at a female audience, you'll see a lot of female shit being pushed. The only objective of all of that programming is to pull you to the screen so you could view the ads. Now, there's a lot of subliminal messaging taking place. If I want to sell you a beer, I'll tell you this is the goddamn best fucking beer in the world. Buy it, motherfucker. But you ain't gonna buy it. So I bring a badass bitch in a little bikini, walking around with a case of the beer, and your mind is going to associate that beer with that badass woman. And so you will buy the beer, not even knowing why the fuck you bought the beer. Look at the little, it's a perfume cologne company. I don't know the name. I don't wear that shit. But all you see are these pretty people swimming in pools, doing weird shit. Weird fucking shit. But you look at that and you say, I want to be a pretty people too. So I go buy that cologne. I put Taylor Swift on a commercial. She's a pretty girl. She's a celebrity. Everyone likes her. All the little girls want to be like her. All the women want to be like her. So I put Taylor Swift in a commercial and some dude. And dude puts on the cologne and Taylor just walks up to him like in a dream. What you gonna do? You want Taylor Swift to walk up to you like that? So you'll buy the cologne. Programming. In school, grade school, high school, you're programmed. Not everything that you're taught is true. You're programmed. So because of that programming, most people do not know what is and what is not real, what is and what is not true. Your great president, Donald Daffy Duck, Trump, talks about fake news. News cannot be fake, but opinion can. So I wanna start to break down some of these things that you've been taught, some of these things that you believe to be truths, but have never really validated them or verified them for yourself. Because, just as an example, I got a degree in electrical engineering. So I learned physics, calculus, chemistry, biology. I was going to go to med school, so I took all the pre-med classes, organic chem, all that. You have labs in those science classes. And in those science labs, you go out there and validate what they told you in the lecture. But most people who are not scientists are given shit and they accept it. Look at quantum physics when you talk about issues of entanglement. You have an electron in this space that's in this situation and another electron in that space that's in that situation, and you split them apart. Why do they maintain the same situation? You have a slit experiment and you have light, which is supposed to be a photon, a particle, exhibiting wave-like behaviors. So they come up with all these crazy theories that cannot be proven. The Big Bang cannot be proven. Evolution cannot be proven. But it is accepted as fact. The theory of relativity cannot be proven, but it is accepted as fact. That's not science. That's philosophy. So, let me get to it. And I want to cover several areas and look at the truth as opposed to fiction in those areas. The first area, since I opened this talking about DeshawnJackson, is going to be Jews. I want to look at Jews. I want to look at black people. I want to look at religion. I want to look at homosexuals. I want to look at this pandemic. And then I want to look at democracy. It is highly likely that after watching this video, you're either going to think I'm an idiot, I'm a piece of shit, or I opened your fucking eyes. I don't want you to believe a goddamn fucking thing I say. What I want you to do is to go out there and do everything you can. Do your own research and disprove everything that I say. Because I guarantee you, what will happen in the process of you trying to disprove what I say, you will find yourself validating every goddamn fucking thing that I say. Let's get to it. Jews. Well, first of all, who are the Jews? I'm not saying the people that call themselves Jews. I'm talking about the original Jews. But to understand that, let's look at the Bible story. Adam, Eve, Abraham, Isaac, Noah, Moses, all the way Yahshua. The Muslims call him Isha. You call him Jesus. The Mexicans call him Jesus. I don't know what the fuck the Chinese call him. You could go ask a Chinaman. He might tell you. In our current understanding, all those people were white. Adam was white. Moses was white. Jesus was white. Goddamn, everyone in the fucking Bible was white. But there's some problems with that. Because the Elohim said, "Let us create man in our image." Okay. Let us create man in our image. Archaeology has proven without a doubt that the original people on this planet were black, African black. So, if the Elohim did indeed speak and propose to create man in their image, and that original man was black, then how in fucking hell can you tell me God is white and Jesus, the Son of God, is white, and all the prophets that came about were white? How? It's illogical. Compounding that problem is this nasty little reality. The oldest fossil found that was a white man, phenotypically white, is no older than 7,000 years old. If the Bible states the earth is about 6,600 years old, how the fuck do the Elohim create a man that does not exist until maybe 1,000 years later? So logically, it is impossible. If the people of the Bible were Jews, it is impossible that Jews are white. Reason, deduction leads you to conclude that there's no other explanation than that the Jews were black. Well, you say. All these scrolls and stuff were found in Israel and Nahamadi and Palestine and all those places. The Dead Sea, that whole Middle East area. Here's a problem. Egypt was black until about 1,000 years ago. About 1,000, 1,500 years ago, Egypt was black. That area that you now call Greece, Palestine, the Middle East, India, Saudi Arabia, all those places were colonized by Egypt. They were part of the Egyptian Empire. So all the people living there were black. All these Arabs in the Middle East, they just came the other day. All these Arabs in North Africa, they just came the other fucking day. There is no fucking way. No fucking way that the people of the Bible were white. None. As a matter of fact, the first Christian church was the Coptic Church of Ethiopia, followed by the Coptic Church of Egypt. Why? Because Ethiopia and Egypt had a symbiotic relationship. Egypt emerged from Ethiopia and Nubia. At a time when Egypt was in trouble, the Nubians, which is now modern day Sudan, moved up to restore order. Learn your history, antiquity. So these people that are white and call themselves Jews originated in Eastern Europe. You've got the Ashkenazi Jews and the Sephardic Jews. The language Yiddish has its origins in that area. These people never, ever, ever inhabited Palestine in ancient times. Well, you say, my nigga, and how did they get there? Now, a lot of times you hear about conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories. Here's my tinfoil hat. I see my tinfoil hat. Because what is a conspiracy? A conspiracy is really me and you getting together and plotting to do something and not let anyone know about it. Some of them are fucking nuts. I was reading on InfoWars, Alex Jones, that some company that makes cabinets, I don't know, they call them Wayfair, they were making cabinets to transport abducted kids. Which is stupid, man. If I want to abduct kids and transport them, I won't say how I would do it because I don't want some shit ass sick motherfucker to do this. But some of them have validity. In World War I, Europe was getting their ass kicked by Germany, so they wanted the U.S. to come in. So the U.S. sent a passenger liner to Lithuania, I think that's what it was called, Lithuania, and it was sailing into the British Channel, whatever, sailing into Britain, whatever, and the German U-boat, pow, took that shit out. A U-boat is a submarine. They knew, the British knew, that German submarines were patrolling the area. Every ship that came into that English Channel was escorted by protective vessels that would attack any potential threats from U-boats. The Lithuania was loaded with munitions in its cargo hold, destined for Britain. They let the Germans sink their ship just to bring the U.S. into World War I. You may call it a conspiracy theory, but the facts are the British intentionally dropped their guard. The ship was loaded with munitions, and it was sunk. Pearl Harbor, we're all told it was a surprise attack. We're all told that. Now we say, fuck these Japanese, man. How the fuck could the Japanese do this shit to us? You don't know the backstory. The U.S. was cutting off Japan's supplies, so the Japanese military would have a much harder time operating, especially their navy. Roosevelt and the Pentagon had advanced knowledge of an imminent attack. But they never made the admirals in Pearl Harbor aware of that. How do I know this to be fact? Because after that Pearl Harbor attack, I think it was an admiral and a general, Army general and a Navy admiral, they were court-martialed and blah, 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 blah. But they appealed. And the appeal found that indeed the White House and the Pentagon had advanced knowledge, and they never informed the admiral and the general in Hawaii, such that they were not prepared, and hence disaster struck. And as a result, the U.S. got into World War II. You could frame it as a conspiracy because it's an alternate perspective, but the court records are there to validate that the White House and the Pentagon knew in advance that Pearl Harbor was going to be attacked. Research it yourself. Don't take my word. So these, I'll call them white Jews. All right, I'll call them white Jews. After World War II, they went to Britain and said, we want a place to call our home. It's understandable. It is fucking understandable. Because in Europe, these Jews were hated. Now, of course, in medieval Europe, the British hated the French hated the Austrians hated the Persians, the predecessor of Germany today. So the white people in Europe, white people didn't start liking each other till maybe 1950, 1955. Even in America, you had the Poles, the Italians. You didn't really have Germans, French, or English. They kind of got together. But the Italians, the Poles, they were outliers. The other white people didn't fuck with them. But after 1950, white people said, you know what? We are white. We might as well get along. It was all good. But the Jews were hated. And the shit that was said about the Jews, they ate babies, they did this, they did that, just vilified. They were the niggas of Europe. They worked hard. They were cut out from shit, so they found their own way. They made their own way. And they managed to succeed, but they were still stepped upon. So then when they went to, I think it was Chamberlain, I can't remember who the prime minister was then, they said, give us some land, man. And they said we could either take some land in Uganda, in Venezuela, South America, or Palestine. They gave them Palestine. Problem is, there are already people living in that place called Palestinians. Oh, god damn. Palestine, Palestinians, oh shit, no shit. A lot of them. A lot of fucking Palestinians were living in Palestine. So the plan was, all right, Zionists, because that's what they call themselves, Zionists, who are working for a homeland for their people. They said, all right, this is what we'll do. We'll cut it, we'll give you this half, and we'll give Palestinians this half. Fucked up, but it was a British colony, so they could do whatever the fuck they wanted. That wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. One morning, late at night, not even morning, early in the morning, like 3 in the morning, in your house, the fuck my nigga. Israelis are there. Get the fuck out, motherfucker. What the fuck you talking? Get the fuck out. Force marched. I think it was 500 or 700,000 Palestinians out of their homes to Jordan refugee camps, Syria refugee camps. And little by little, they took over pretty much all the land. That's why you hear about, you hear the pre-1967 borders, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, that's how these white people, these white Jews, came to live in what is now called Israel. Before that, most of them were in Eastern Europe, Netherlands, or Germany, and I think Spain and Portugal. Israel is one of the most racist nations on this planet. And listen to me. Now, I know you might be an American and say, oh, that ain't shit because you did that to the Indians. But during apartheid in South Africa, when the entire world imposed sanctions on the African government, Dick Cheney found a way to supply weapons to the racist South African white government, channeling them through Israel. What is going on in Israel right now as regards to Palestinians is colonialism, is apartheid. And the world turns a blind eye. Now, when I say this, am I saying every Israeli is a racist? Am I saying every white Jew is a racist? No. But I'm just stating the facts. Because for me to sit here and say because of what Netanyahu and these little idiots do in Israel is racist, then all of you Israelis are racist. Then all of you white Jews are racist would just be as bad as a white man who turns on the television and sees a black man kill 10 people and say, all black people are murderers. That's stereotyping. I will not do that. But those are the facts. If we move on, Louis Farrakhan. Why do they hate this man Farrakhan so much? Because he ain't the devil. The devil lies to you. The devil misleads you. I'm not a part of the Nation of Islam. I'm not even aligned with the Nation of Islam. But I pick knowledge where I can so I can advance myself and grow. And I've learned a lot from Louis Farrakhan. I've learned a lot from El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, aka Malcolm X. I've learned a lot from The Nation. I've learned a lot from Marcus Garvey. I've learned a lot from Frederick Douglass. I've learned a lot from anyone who is willing to put forth knowledge such that I could assimilate it and expand myself. Farrakhan speaks the truth. That's all. And the truth hurts sometimes. And some people are sensitive. See, they put out a book, The Nation. that spoke about slave trade and how the Jews were involved in the slave trade. This book was based on historical records. And I urge you to read the book yourself. It's called The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. And critique the book. And follow up with the references. And try and disprove the book. That's all. I won't tell you what's in the book. But it is a fact, based on historical record, that a lot of the slave ships that were bringing Africans back to be sold were financed by white Jews. A lot of the slave trade was financed by white Jews. Once again, does this mean that all white Jews are slave traders? No. But the fact is, amongst their demographic, there were individuals that enabled the slave trade. When you had Jim Crow, is around the same time you had the emergence of Hollywood, silent films. Go back and watch some of those films for yourself. They are extremely demeaning to black people. Who are the actors? Who are the directors? Who are the screenwriters? Who own the studios? Who owned the theaters? Who distributed the films? The vast majority of them were Jewish people, white Jewish people. So, once again, it doesn't mean that all Jewish people are racist, blah, blah, because I'll tell you something. I work for a Jewish woman, J.P. Morgan Chase, Gail Silver. I have the utmost respect for that woman. If someone came out and said some shit about Gail, I said, fuck you, bitch. That's not the Gail I know. She stood up for me every moment. She gave me everything I needed to succeed as a program manager. A Jewish woman. I've been to Hancock Park, LA. Massive mansions. Walking through there, it's full of Jewish people. I've never felt any animosity from them. So I honestly, I do not think that as a whole, Jewish people, white Jewish people, are fucked up. I do not think that as a whole, they have hate and venom in their hearts. But there's bad apples in there. There's bad apples in there. What would be helpful is for those white Jews who know these things, for those white Jews of conscience who see what's going on in Israel as relates to the Palestinians, who see how the media, which indeed the majority of the people in top spots in Hollywood are Jewish. It's a fact. It's not a stigma if you use your position for good. It is derogative if you use your position for ill. So if I'm a Jewish person, a white Jewish person, and I see what's going on in Israel, and I feel in my heart, those are people, those Palestinians are people, they do not deserve that. I have a duty to stand up and say, Israel does not represent me as a white Jew, and I do not stand for that. As opposed to attacking anyone who questions Israel. If I, as a white Jew, look at television and see black people, women, Mexicans, Asians depicted as shit, I should stand up and say, yes, a lot of us are running these studios, are running these companies, and we're not doing a proper job. And I should raise my voice, because what that does, Mr. White Jew, is it alerts to the world that not all of you are fucked up. But when you don't speak, what do you expect people to think? Now that I've talked about Jewish people, let me talk about black people. See, a precious moment was squandered. A precious moment was squandered. We had the attention of the whole fucking world. This was our chance. And we paint Black Lives Matter in streets. I mean, institutions, structures is what runs and controls society. Painting Black Lives Matter on a fucking street is not gonna change shit. Tearing down a fucking statue is not gonna change shit. Making speeches and this is not gonna change shit. Getting on TV and say, oh, it ain't gonna change shit. That's what our fucking problem is. We do not understand what it takes to bring about embedded, lasting change. You embed it into the structure of society. So that now becomes the functioning of society. You want to get rid of police brutality? You want to get rid of police racism? Go find out. How do they train these police? Go find out, when they hire a policeman, what screening do they give? Go find out, how can you break the backs of the police unions? And then establish protocols clothed in legislative action that will put laws on the books to govern these things. Now, for those of you who actually sat there and thought they were going to pass laws to protect you from police, you have to understand your history. The white man will let you march all century. A march till your fucking feet fall off. And he still won't give you shit. Put a gun to his head. Destroy what he values most, and he will give you everything. Study the history of the white man. Go to Europe, medieval Europe. Study their history. Study the Napoleonic Wars. Understand how these kings came to be. How did the King of England come to be? How did the King of France come to be? Go and study Rome, Greece, Sparta, World War II. White people are the most bloodthirsty, violent people on this planet. White people have shed more blood of their own fellow white people and non-white people than any other race. That is who you are dealing with. The only language the white man understands is violence. That is the only language he understands. Trust me, my nigga. I've had these motherfucking crackers harassing me day and night, and I try to be peaceful, walk away. They don't understand that. It's only when I say, come on, bitch, I'ma fuck your fucking ass up, then they leave you alone. It's like you gotta shoot these motherfuckers to get through to them. They're extremely arrogant and entitled. They feel that the way things are benefiting them is the way things should be, because in their minds, they up here and everyone else is down here. Do you understand what I'm saying? If the director of Who had been a white person, I fucking guarantee you Trump would not have withdrawn the U.S. from Who. I fucking guarantee you that. That is the mind of the white man. They haven't changed. You say, oh, they don't say nigga no more. They say the N-word. The N-word is nigga. So instead of me calling you a nigga, I call you the N-word. I still call you a fucking nigga. And you say, oh, he said the N-word. He didn't say nigga. You dumb nigga. Oh, shit, mama. Listen. If you want lasting change when it comes to racial issues in this country, fuck all that talking shit. I don't want to see no more fucking shit ass ESPN, NBA kids. I don't want to see any more of that shit, because that shit don't do jack. It don't do jack. The truth. There's a time when black people held themselves high. They had dignity, self-pride, belief in themselves, ambition. Then we fell into the gutter. And I'll tell you where this started. In the 80s with crack. That's where it started. Crack destroyed so many lives. Crack destroyed so many communities. Crack put bullets in so many black men's heads and sent them 6 feet under. And the ones that didn't go in the ground went into a cell. By the way, Michael Jordan is invested in prisons that house black people. I suggest you divest yourself, Mr. Jordan, if you truly give a fuck about your race. From the 80s, let's say about 85, 82, we've just been going downhill. Our communities shit. Black family, mother, father. I refuse to have a child until I have a wife to be the mother of that child under the same roof. We're falling off. We're concerned with showing off, stunting, flossing. Look at me, look at me, look at me. And we ain't shit. That's a shame. That's our responsibility. It's a shame. That's the truth. Economics. There's almost 2 or 3 times as many black women in college as there are black men. Where are all these fucking black men going? They're working in warehouses, in grocery stores, malls, living off women. How can you as a man look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm a man, and your woman pays the rent, puts food on the table, takes care of the babies? Are you a man? Are you a man? We don't give a fuck about school. There's this black man, I think his name's DeshawnJackson, quarterback in the NFL. I think he plays for the Houston Texans. This man has a degree in aeronautical engineering, which is the toughest form of engineering. I am an electrical engineer. That's what my degree is in. It's about the second or third toughest. His is the toughest, and he's in the NFL. There's a man called Shaquille O'Neal. He used to play in the NBA. I'm sorry. Dr. Shaquille O'Neal. As a black man, I think he plays for the Baltimore Ravens, defensive lineman, either the Baltimore Ravens or the Pittsburgh Steelers. Has a graduate degree in mathematics, playing in the NFL. See, we shun education, but education is a great equalizer. When the Japanese started migrating to this country in the early part of the 1900s, they had stupid little jobs, dry cleaners, this. What those Japanese parents did is they told their children, I don't want you working the kind of job I'm working. So I'm going to work hard as shit. And I want you to focus on getting your education and becoming a doctor or lawyer, whatever. As a result, the Japanese are one of the highest per capita income group in this nation. We look down on education. We look down on that black kid who's in the library studying so he could get good grades. We look down on that black kid who wants to go to school, who raises his hand and asks questions, even if he look dumb, but at least he'll know. You're not an athlete, so you're not going to the practice field after school. are you gonna do? Go hang out at the mall? Chill with your friends who are going nowhere just like you? That's the truth. We have to take control of our own destiny. You looking for white people to help you? No. White people don't give a fuck about you. When will you understand that, black man, black woman? White people don't give a fuck about you. If Oprah Winfrey, with her face on televisions all over the world, a billionaire, can walk in a white store in London and they don't want to serve her. Oprah Winfrey. Everyone in the fucking world knows who Oprah Winfrey is. And when she walked into the store, they knew who she was. But they said, you know what, you nigga woman, you ain't good enough. The woman could probably buy the fucking store. She could probably buy everything in that fucking store and just throw it away, and it won't mean shit to her. But she's black. You ain't good enough. Assimilation. We strive for acceptance. To us, it is the biggest thing. The biggest thing. For a white person to say, I accept you, black man. I accept you, black woman. But if you knew your history, you would know that when they came and snatched you from Africa, you were not butt naked riding around on the back of a zebra with a fucking bone through your nose. When they snatched you from Africa in 1500s and 1600s, you were more advanced, more civilized, more educated, more knowledgeable than they were. As a matter of fact, Western civilization is built off of black knowledge. Go do your research. Dr. Ben Buchanan, Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Ivan van Sertima, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Cheikh Anta Diop. It has all been done for you. Educate yourself, black person. Because when you know your history, when you know where you came from, when you know who you are and who you were. Because if I was that before and something happened to make me this, then I can always get back to that. But you're asleep. And it's nice to sleep. Lying down in the bed. Dreaming. But dreams aren't reality. Dreams do not manifest without action. If you knew your history, you would know that this white man you worship really worships you. But he will never let you know that, because he never wants you to fully awaken. Does that mean that all white people are evil? No. Does that mean that all white people have a bloodthirst? No. There are genuinely good white people out there. There are genuinely white people that have good hearts, I want to do good and do good in the world. So it's not a blanket conviction. I'm just bringing forth the truth. Homosexuals. The day is coming. The day is coming very soon when a person like me who likes pussy and pussy alone, and I've liked pussy all my life, and I never liked anything but pussy. It's nice. If you ain't tried it, try it. Equal Rights Clause states that no individual shall be discriminated against based on an innate trait. Which means if I own a company and you come in, you want a job and you have blue eyes, I can't say, fuck you, blue-eyed motherfucker. I don't hire people with blue eyes, because you have no choice in whether your eyes are blue. If you have red hair, if you're tall, if you're short, if you're black, if you're white, Asian, Mexican, if you're deaf, if you're blind, you have no control over that. So, I guess I use the word gay because the other word might be deemed offensive. So the gay people said, you know what? We want these privileges. We want these rights. We want the same thing everyone has. It's valid. It's valid. You know, I mean, I do not agree with it, and I'll go into that. I do not support it, and I'll go into that. But they have a right to demand equality. One problem. Equal Rights Clause covers innate traits, which means I would have had to have been born gay to receive that protection. And they sold that to the world. And the world accepted it and said, okay, you're born gay, so I can't discriminate against you because you have no choice in this. However, my nigga, it is impossible. I will say that again. It is impossible, i.e., it cannot happen. Not one in a billion, not one in a trillion, not one in a zillion, zero. Nobody can be born gay. Nobody. Nobody. You say, well, nigga, come on, man. They got the scientific research and... Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. What scientific research? What? There is zero peer-reviewed, verified, validated scientific research that supports the notion that one is born gay. Nothing out there. Goddamn, nigga. What the? And they've been telling me all this shit and this and that and nigga. For you to be born with a certain trait, it has to be encoded in your DNA. There has to be a genetic marker that says you will be gay. You will be hetero. You will be whatever. Bi, I don't know. You will fuck animals. You will fuck trees. You will fuck holes in the ground. You will fuck clouds. You will fuck what? I don't know the fuck, man. I don't know where the fuck this shit going. It's crazy. Not one genetic marker. If you're born with blue eyes, there's a genetic marker in your DNA sequence for blue eyes. If you're born with kinky hair like me, there's a genetic marker for that. There's black people who are born with straight hair. There's a genetic marker for that. My nigga. So you're telling me can't no motherfucking body be born gay? Yes. Because I'm not going to go into details, but essentially you have the DNA and the RNA and the messenger RNA. Study genetics, study cell biology, you'll understand these things. Cell replication through mitosis. The cell takes its DNA, sends it to another part of the cell. It splits into two cells. Both cells have that DNA. That DNA instructs that cell how to develop itself. There's none for gay people. None. So lacking that genetic marker, there's no way any person can claim from a scientific basis that somebody is born gay, because nobody can be born gay. Well, my nigga. But they should have rights. You know what? I ain't gonna knock that. I ain't gonna sit here and say gay people can't work. Gay people should be denied the right to work, should be denied the right to buy houses or live their life. I'm not gonna say that. I don't like them. I don't fuck with them. But I will not say they should not have rights. But they cannot and should not be accorded protections based on the Equal Rights Clause. No. Because that applies to innate traits. Now, if they want to take another avenue to gain their rights, I have no problem with that. But don't sit there and try to say you being gay is like me being black. No. No. Do not insult me. When you look at science, when you look at nature, well, let's go to science. Let's go to the atom. It used to be the smallest element, but now we have muons and gluons and up quarks and down quarks and neutrinos and all kinds of fucking shit. It's a goddamn mess. Don't ever study quantum physics. Don't ever study quantum mechanics, because you'll regret having done it. But in the atom, you have the neutron. And around the neutron, and within the neutron, you have protons. And around the neutron, or the nucleus, nucleus, not neutron, nucleus. Around the nucleus, you have electrons. And I won't go into valence shells and all that. I'll just say that a stable atom has a balance of positive and negative charges. The negative and the positive attract each other, and hence that atom stays cohesive. It doesn't blow up. Electricity is electron flow. And the electrons are flowing from a place where there's an excess supply of electrons to a place where there's a lower supply of electrons. But they're being pulled there by the protons. That positive charge is pulling the negative charge towards it. Even within the nucleus, you have all these different particles, muons, gluons, up quarks, down quarks, all these other shit, neutrinos, and their opposite charges is what holds that neutron, that nucleus together. Magneticism. You have positive pole, negative pole. They attract. Positive pole, they repel. The earth has a magnetic field. Positive, negative. A field. If it was positive, we wouldn't be here. If everything was positive, that neutron, that nucleus could not stay intact and it would just disintegrate. That atom could not stay intact and it would just... You're made of atoms. Everything around you is made of atoms. So if we defy that basic essential law that opposites attract, then we cease to exist. Nature itself is a self-replicating, self-sustaining entity. The birds, the bees, the plants, the trees, the grass, the cows, the chickens, the dogs, the mice, the roaches, the flies, the humans, all must reproduce to maintain existence. In reality, the purpose of most living things is to reproduce. That's it. The purpose of most living things is to reproduce. Some of them, the female lays eggs, the male comes along, drops his sperm in the eggs, fertilized. Others, the male comes along, sticks the female, fertilizes the female, fertilizes the eggs, the egg is hatched, as in the birds and lizards, snakes, incubated, hatches. Mammals, the male fertilizes the female, in the belly, it grows, it comes out. Hence, from a natural perspective, homosexuality, or my fault, gayness, would eventually lead to the demise of the human race. If the dogs out there decided they're all going to be gay, guess what? In about a year, won't be no motherfucking dogs anywhere. Now, I wish all the cockroaches, all the flies, all the worms, all them nasty animals that I don't like, I wish it all become gay so that it all vanish. But this is nature. Nature don't play that shit. It's the truth. I'm not going to go into speculations and all that, but it's the truth. I'm just laying out the facts. Go out there, disprove me. I'm not hating anyone. I'm just speaking the truth. You notice I didn't say anything about God said this or God said that. Because I want to talk about religion. So many of us, so many of us, even those of you call yourselves atheists or agnostics, you are still influenced significantly by religion. There's three major religions: Judaism, Christianity, Islam. The Ten Commandments. Religion is man-made. All of these religions, all of them trace back to the Egyptian mystery system. All of them. The problem is, if you are not Egyptian, as in black Egyptian, if you are not qualified, as in being prepared here and being prepared here, to enter the temples of Luxor, of Memphis, and other places, you would never receive the true knowledge. The Ten Commandments are derived from the, I think it's the 42 laws of Ma'at. I shall not kill. I shall not steal. The 42 laws of Ma'at. Apparently, Moses was not qualified to enter the temples, so he only got 10 of them. And those 10 served as a foundation for Christianity and eventually Islam. If you really want to understand these religions, number one, if you're a Jewish person, do not read the Talmud. That is not a divine book. The Torah is your divine book. Focus on the Torah and understand the teachings of the Torah to gain spiritual enlightenment. If you're a Christian, I recommend seeking out the Gnostic texts, seeking out the books that were left out of the Bible at the Council of Nicaea in 300 AD. Familiarize yourself with the Coptic Church of Ethiopia and Egypt, because those were formed before the Roman Catholic Church, which was formed in 300 AD by Emperor Constantine. See, in 300 AD, Rome, which had been busy persecuting Christians left and right, decided, you know what? we're going to embrace Christianity, but we're going to corrupt it by incorporating pagan rituals and pagan holidays. December 25th is not the birth date of Yahshua, the Nazarene, the Nazarene, the Nazarene, my fault, the Nazarene, Yahshua. December 25th is not his birthday. Easter is a pagan holiday. It was to honor the goddess Ishtar, a Roman goddess of fertility. That's why you have the, little leaves, whatever, at Easter. Ishtar. A lot of what is now called Christianity is not Christianity. It's paganism. You are worshiping the fucking devil. Do you realize that? But let's go further. You have the evangelicals. What's his name? Olstein, some white boy. Then you have Creflo Dollar, T.D. Jakes. Synagogues of Satan. If you are a preacher and you're preaching to a congregation of Christians and you seek to live in the image of Christ, how many $1 million homes did Jesus own? I mean, goddamn, he was a son of God. He could say, hey, God, give me a castle over here. And bam, that shit right there. How many $1 million homes did Jesus Christ own? How many Bentleys did Jesus Christ drive? Oh, Mr. Creflo Dollar, I need a private jet. I need 15 million. How many private jets did Jesus Christ fly on? And you call yourselves Christians? You are hypocrites. You are hypocrites. The white evangelicals that support Israel, which is oppressing Palestinians, would Jesus Christ have stood up for that, for the oppression of other people? But you support Israel that does that? You support Trump, a vain, lying, narcissistic individual who has been divorced 3 or 4 times? Would Jesus Christ even speak to someone like that? When the rich man came to Jesus and said, I want to go to heaven, what did Jesus say? It would be easier for a camel to pass through the needle of the eye of a needle, than for a rich man to enter heaven. And all of you preachers are pursuing material wealth. You are of this world, and this world is the devil's world. Please, please, all of you big church, mega church pastors, please stop calling yourselves Christians and start calling yourselves the synagogue of Satan, because you are deep in the world of the devil. And trust me, someone's watching. Trust me. No Christian in their right mind should support Trump. I understand you want the conservative justices because you want abortion outlawed. Really? A 3-month-old fetus is not a viable human being. It's only at about 5 or 6 months that that fetus has developed to a recognizable, viable human being that could survive on their own. With some help. At 9 months is good, but 6 months with some help. But if you're so concerned about life, why do you support the Republican Party, which likes to go to other countries and kill people? Shouldn't you stand against that? Muslims. The Quran forbids suicide. The Quran forbids terrorism. Your holy book forbids that. So all of you terrorist organizations, do not fucking yell Allahu Akbar when you commit your atrocities. Because you are not doing it in the name of Allah. You are doing it in the name of your earthly masters. Religion. Time's running out. Let me move on. I just want to talk about one more thing. Democracy. Go vote. Go vote. It's good to vote. I encourage everyone to go out there and vote. Let your voice be heard. But in a democracy, are all people really represented? Or is it just the majority who is represented? If you have a Democratic Congress, a Democratic president, they'll do everything the Democrats want. The Republicans, the conservatives, they get left out. If you have a Republican president, a Republican Congress, they'll do everything the Republicans want. The Democrats are left out. So, is democracy really representative of all the people? Or does this just represent a portion of the people? That's a problem I have with democracy. Because regardless, one person here, one person, they're going to feel left out. And they're going to feel resentment. And they're going to sit there and say, wait. When we get in, we're going to get you motherfuckers back. And it's tit for tat, tit for tat, tit for tat. I grew up in gang territory. I banged till I was 10, 11 years old. Sports took me away. Music took me away. A lot of the killing that takes place related to gangs in Chicago, in Baltimore, DC, New York, LA, Oakland, is revenge, back and forth, and it never stops. I kill your boy, now you gotta come kill me. You kill me, my boy's gonna come kill you. My boys kill you, and it never stops. And it never fucking stops. And it's the same with democracy. Republicans in, they get all their shit. All right, Democrats get in, fuck you Republicans, all their shit. And the country never fucking goes nowhere. We need to find a better system. A system that can truly represent the interests of all Americans. Now, I may not get everything that I want. You may not get everything that you want. She may not get everything that she wants. But if he gets 70%, she gets 70%, I get 70%, you know what? Better than nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long video. A long video. I'm sorry. I had to. Speak the truth. I don't ask you to believe a goddamn fucking thing I said. What I want you to do, go out there and try and disprove every fucking thing that I said. Because it will take you on a journey. And in the course of that journey, you will uncover so much that you did not know, that you will wake up at the end of that journey a very, very, very different individual. Grow, learn, expand, fear not. The truth will indeed set you free. But just remember this. You will never see the world the way you have seen it. Thank you. God bless. Good night. And wear your face mask. Stay away from crowds. I don't want to talk about the pandemic, but this shit's real, motherfuckers. Some say it's a pestilence from God for our wayward ways. I don't know. All I'm saying is protect yourself, protect your family and your loved ones. Because if you go out there and you catch that virus and you come back to your wife or your kids or your parents or whatever, they're likely to get it. You might survive, they might die. Is that something you want to live with for the rest of your fucking life? Knowing that you killed your grandfather, knowing that you killed your sister, knowing that you killed your child? I wouldn't. I would not. Thank you. God bless.